Good morning. We live in a difficult world, and we're here gathered to engage in a new practice. One of the things about meditation is it's always new. Buddhists talk about beginning the practice of mindfulness with a beginner's mind, which is an attitude that I'm always starting and I'm always encountering something new. Every tradition of meditation I've ever studied or practiced held this in common, that we enter it with curiosity and not control. We control our awareness as best we can, and we're even curious about that. Like, what is it? And the core of the practice is to be non-judgmental of the result that we get, the experience that we have, the way our own being responds to our practice. So I just want to remind us of that this is not a perfectionistic or even an idealistic practice, in the sense that we're not trying to become ideal. We're trying to become ourselves as we are. And, the premise is that life is difficult. And, we're focused on this practice right now for ourselves. I'm doing it for me. Believe it or not, it really helps me to show up and have a few people that I know are here and that are practicing together. And I have the gift, or I've been given the experience of meditation at a very young age. So I have something to share. I wouldn't consider myself an expert by any means, just a practicer who's just starting today. That being said, like I said, we live in a difficult world, and we're choosing leaders. We're choosing directions. We live in a democracy. We've already talked a little bit about how nature points to democratic principles and choices that are made. We've talked about the democracy of our own body, which is a billion cells cooperating and following the lead of the awareness that's at the core of us, and working together moment by moment to choose what's next. Sorry. To choose what's next in our behavior. Do I sleep? Do I eat? And it's a flowing process of choice. Somehow all works together. We are choosing leadership this month, within a few short weeks, in really difficult times. And we tend to believe that, the leaders that we want are the ones who engage the difficulty of the world and do that with strength and clarity, with a plan. And, democracy tells us that we oftentimes have a choice that we have to carefully examine. So voting but studying before you vote is important. Researching, reading, listening, watching debates. This is something I've been doing since I was a little tiny kid. My dad at that time happened to be the Democratic Party chairman of Jackson County, Missouri. And he paid us to, I probably was 8 years old by the time I was leafleting doors all throughout Jackson County. Me and my brothers and any neighborhood kids that would join in, and my dad would pay us, and we would participate door to door, putting little cards on doorknobs and in slots of doors. And I immediately knew that, well, we were participating in something big. And then I remember the day of elections being out front of Southwest High School at the time, or Border Star Grade School, actually, it was, or various other places, handing out cards to people if they would take them that represented the leadership that we were promoting, the choices we wanted. And so from the very beginning, for me, it's been this process of assertive presence, interacting with the community. And that really spoke to me, and it still does. So we're here campaigning in a different way. What I'd say is we want leaders who are going to engage our world and its difficulty, and who have the capacity to hold that difficulty in all of its complexity. Take it in, understand it as best they can, engage it, and let compassion and wisdom be their guide. And, this compassion-based leadership, which is ideally, or a democracy chooses someone who has the good of all in mind. Democracy chooses leaders that don't divide our community one side against another. Really help us understand we're all cooking in the same soup. We're all in the same experience. And that if it's good for a person, a policy, a decision, a choice, who's at the top, and it's not good for those at the bottom, that's not the kind of leadership I want. I don't know how you feel about it. You go all the way back to Dr. Seuss's story, Yertle the Turtle. I invite you to go back and read it if you haven't in a while, and look at how that worked. We don't want that. So we're down at the bottom of the pile. If you remember that story, maybe I'll read it to you tomorrow. It's such a great story. I have to find it on my bookshelves. And what we're going to practice today is, here's the deal. We all want to be able to hold the difficulty of the world in a compassionate, kind, wise way. And we can do that. That's something we can definitely work on. That's what democracy invites us to do. Look beyond ourselves, see the bigger picture, see the good of all, decide what's best from that perspective. And we can't do that unless we first can really and deeply and authentically hold our own difficulty, our own unique individual difficulty. And I would even say that leaders who can't be trusted oftentimes are people who are seeking power because they've never learned to hold themselves in a kind way. And so they're desperate. They're desperate to be cared for and to feel the power of that. I'm not speaking about anybody individually, but come to your own conclusions about who in our world that's seeking power, that is asking to be elected, is there because they have a deep psychological need, instead of they've learned how to care for that for themselves. And if we learn how to care for it for ourselves, maybe with a small group of other people, it changes everything. Then maybe we can open up our hearts this morning and embrace the difficulty of the whole world in a mindful, open way. And what that creates is a longing for justice, a longing for the common good, a longing for peace. And we want that longing to guide us in our choices. And that's the big picture view. The small picture view is that life is difficult. And today, like Monday, sorry I missed yesterday, but like Monday, we're going to meditate on difficulty that might show up in our awareness if we allow that. And again, I want to advise you in this meditation that you don't have to reach for the hardest thing that you're facing in your life. Maybe even it's interesting to realize that small difficulties actually have a deep resonance in our bodies. Often they have a deep, like they really are there. And holding a small difficulty is just as meaningful as taking on the whole world, taking on the whole kit and caboodle. So bringing yourself into this moment and this practice with clarity of intention. This meditation is meant to ground and settle you in the present moment and give you a chance to open up to difficulty and to deepen your experience of holding that with care. And beginning by greeting your whole complex, difficult self with awareness. So checking in with yourself at the level of your body, your feelings, your thoughts, in a broad and open way. Maybe saying to yourself, how am I doing in this moment? And just being present. Becoming aware of whatever you find to be true in yourself at this moment. Body sensations, feelings, thoughts. And then bringing that awareness to a more focused place. Firstly, by finding the posture in your body that you wish for yourself in this meditation. And then bringing awareness to the area in your abdomen around your belly button and the sensations of breathing in and that expanding and breathing out, noticing how that collapses and shrinks. Letting everything else fade into the background, thoughts, worries, they might still be there, while your attention is on your breath in your belly. Each breath in, opening up to this moment. Each breath out, letting it be just as it is. And then allowing your awareness to broaden itself to the sensation of each breath filling your whole body and emptying out of your whole body. Feel each breath in filling your head, your torso, your arms, your legs, all the way down to your feet and toes and hands. And then for a period of silence, receiving the sensations of the body and the breath, with curiosity and interest. Everything else fading into the background while your attention is on body and breath. Coming back as often as you need, if you need to start over. Coming back to the body and the breath. Noticing how your awareness can zoom in on specific parts of your body or zoom out and take it all in. Then gathering your awareness again and bringing it to a different point, the sensations of sound entering your ears. And as you've practiced before, seeing if it's possible for you to receive and explore the sound itself, apart from the label attached to what it is, or the story that's there. It's okay to notice that the mind has a tendency to tell a story about sounds. And the sounds themselves are different. So just for a few minutes of silence, that isn't actually silence, opening up the sound. Sounds from within your own body, sounds from your world, sounds that are far away, sounds that are close by. Small sounds within larger sounds. Sounds as events that happen and then stop. And now shifting once again awareness, taking the spotlight of your awareness and directing it towards your thoughts. Noticing your thoughts as events that are happening all on their own. Noticing the tendency to get stuck on a thought or to pursue it, and seeing what it's like to not pursue any particular thought, but just to notice the flow of thought, which may be many thoughts or very few. Seeing if it's possible to experience your thoughts as events that emerge into conscious awareness, play themselves out, and disappear, followed by the next. You may notice that there's a space in your awareness that's not thought, where thoughts emerge. And now shifting once again. If you want to accompany yourself into this practice, go ahead. And if not, maybe return to your body and breath. Stay there in your awareness. But as we pay attention, as you pay attention to your thoughts, noticing that the mind may present difficulties in thought, and choosing for a moment to explore and find a difficulty that occupies your thoughts. Could be something small or something large. And once you find that, acknowledging it and engaging awareness to it. Acknowledging this problem, that it's real, that you have it, that it's part of your life. And then bringing that problem into your awareness, not diving into it, not trying to solve it, holding it in awareness, laying it on the workbench of your mind, and just observing it and noticing, especially noticing your body and your breath. What occurs as you hold this problem in awareness. Noticing how thoughts and feelings and responses in the body may flow through and around this problem, this difficulty, and allowing that to happen for yourself. Noticing it with curiosity and compassion. Maybe even allowing yourself to breathe in and out of the sensations that emerge. It may help you to gently and simply describe what's happening. There's a tightness here, or there's heaviness, or there's freedom, whatever's occurring. Just staying with it while you hold that problem in your awareness. And then returning gently to body and breath, acknowledging this problem once again as real, as yours, as part of your life. And choosing it to let it go, choosing to let it go into the flow of time and space. If you wish, you can place it like a leaf on a stream. And then returning to yourself and your body and your breath, knowing the remaining effect of having held this problem in awareness. Noticing what might have shifted or changed. And for the last portion of this meditation, opening up to the awareness that as the world around you is waking up, some problems are held in common, but each person is walking through difficulty of one type or another. And each person needs compassion and help to face their difficulties. And becoming aware of how we, as a people, need leaders who help us do that with each other. And maybe even becoming aware that you are a leader in your own sphere in ways known and unknown, in small ways and in large. And finding yourself again connected to the ground beneath you, being right where you are, grounded to the present moment, which is a sense of yourself that you can return to many times today. So thank you very much for joining me and um, joining together. And engaging mindfulness around the difficulties that life is giving us right now. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Bye.